have 30 days to do this course, and typically this course runs for about 3 months in Canada, so it's definitely very condensed. However, the Ukrainians that are here have come from tank platforms already, the T-series tanks, so they already come with that knowledge of gunnery, knowledge of mechanical systems, so it really ends up being more of a conversion course, just not necessarily teaching them how to be tankers, but teaching them how to use this particular tank. So the Leopard tank brings a lot more accuracy than the T-series tanks. It brings a lot more distance in which it can engage, a lot more speed, moving both forward and backwards. For example, if you compare the T-series tanks, they go about 5 kilometers per hour backwards, whereas the Leopard can reach 30-40 kilometers going backwards easily. So it's definitely a more advanced system, and it brings a lot more benefits to the battlefield for the Ukrainian side.
Start out with the theory in the classrooms, then we go for the simulators with the basics like starting up the engine, some basic maneuvers, and then we proceed onto real tank, training on the tactical strip and introducing some tactics and how to act doing the live firing exercises and such. So depending on at what point we are during the training, we basically are either at the simulators or on real tanks out in the field. So even though the training is 12 hours a day, even at the end of the day, they still want to learn more, get some more experience, work a bit more around the tank. They have questions all the time because the stakes for them are very high. They want to know as much as they can once they get back to Ukraine.
So we're taking them on a 3-week course from the basics of an AS-90, its characteristics, what the component parts are, i.e. the ordnance. We'll teach them basics like taking the breach out. Move on to the manoeuvre phase, teach them how to deploy the gun out in the field, like the area where we have us around us now, how to deploy tactically, and how to actually move the gun in different scenarios. And then we move on to the combination of live fire, which is behind us now, for like 2 days live fire package to test their skills out in the field in an actual real world environment.
The focus of the course is to give the volunteers to the Armed Forces of Ukraine the skills and principles to survive, fight and win. So we very much focus on basic skills and principles that the trainees can adapt to survive and fight, focusing on marksmanship principles, force protection, offensive and defensive operations in both rural and urban environments. So as well as focusing on the relevance of the course, we also focus on the realism and immersing the trainees in those realistic battlefield scenarios to help them to understand the effects that has on them mentally and indeed physically, and also to prepare them for the battlefield that they'll go back to, minimising or reducing the amount of time they might hesitate, allowing them to apply the skills and principles we've given them in stressful battlefield environments.
And then we'll take the
The course aims to teach them to be lethal infantry soldiers. So, as I said, the skills and principles are really important so they understand their role as a soldier on the battlefield, how to fit into larger units. A real focus of the course is fighting ethically, law of armed conflict, and how to fight a war ethically is incredibly important. We teach that and reinforce it. And I think also fundamentally what I hope we give the soldiers is that confidence in those skills and principles. As I've said, they're incredibly well motivated. They have a huge offensive spirit, and we aim to give them those skills and principles and the confidence to go back and fight for Ukraine. So from my personal experience, I think it demonstrates the shared values that nations in NATO and NATO partners have, both in the support to Ukraine and the way we conduct our training. But at a fundamentally more tactical level, it shows that the ability we have to integrate conceptually and physically in terms of the equipment, delivering of the training, and just working together. Those relationships that we've built within our training delivery unit are built on years of working and operating together in other operational environments.